Hi guys, welcome to the Fight Age channel. British heavyweight David Price believed that his compatriots Tyson Fury and Joe Joyce can defeat the owner of the WBA, WBO and IBF titles Alexander Usyk, the only person who, it seems to me, is capable of defeating Usyk. Some may laugh at this, of course, Tyson Fury, because he's looking for a way to win out of the box. This is not boxing according to a textbook that a well-trained fighter can read. His fighting style is unique. Another person with a similar style and who has a great motor is Joe Joyce. I think that he can cause problems to the Usyk due to the size, strength, condition and non-standard manner of fighting, even in terms of striking. Besides Usyk and Fury, there are only two people who do not know the bitterness of defeat after a major career. But it seems to me that Fury finds a way to win every time, and I bet on him, David Price told talkSPORT. The famous Swedish heavyweight Otto Wallin dubbed that Anthony Joshua will be able to defeat the WBA, WBO and IBF world champion Alexander Usyk in the rematch. To be honest, I don't think much will change in Usyk's rematch with Joshua. It seems to me that Anthony doesn't have enough time to make the necessary changes. However, Joshua has the size and power to be dangerous. However, he needs to take more risks than in the first fight. Because then he tried to box with Usyk. Usyk is a skilled boxer, he is very good at it, so it worked perfectly for Usyk and made the fight easier for him, as he is the best boxer. Joshua needs to be aggressive, use his weight and height to defeat Usyk. I think he needs to be tough with Usyk, said Otto Wallin. Wallin does not believe that Cuban veteran Luis Ortiz will be able to defeat Alexander Usyk or Tyson Fury. I thought Ortiz would beat Martin. I really didn't expect Charles to drop in the way he did. He sent Ortiz to canvas twice, and it was a little unexpected. But Ortiz came back and knocked him out. I think you can see now that Ortiz is getting old. He is about 42 years old, but some people say that he is even older. It seems to me that now his age has begun to affect. I think he just needs to get a title fight, earn money, and then stop fighting. I don't think Ortiz will beat Usyk and Fury. If it's Joshua, it's possible, but unlikely. At the moment, I don't think Ortiz will become a champion. However, he is a powerful puncher, so Luis is probably capable of shaking anyone, said Otto Wallin. I think it's very important to hit Fury on the body, because he's a big guy and it's easier to hit the torso than the head. I believe that Usyk needs to go down to the body. He needs to get through Fury's jab. Usyk needs to move its upper body, and it's very good at this, and also turn on its good legs. It is necessary to get closer to Fury, take advantage of the corners and hit the body, Wallin said. Otto predicts that the WBC world champion and his former rival Tyson Fury will defeat the WBA, WBO and IBF title holder Alexander Usyk if they come together in the ring. According to Wallin, Usyk will not be able to offset too much difference in size with the British big guy. If Usyk fights Fury, I think it will be very interesting. It seems to me that Tyson will be the favorite because he is much bigger. I think Fury will be too big, but I would like to see this fight. It will be very interesting. If Usyk can beat Fury, then it will be amazing. It will be a huge achievement. But I think Tyson will win this fight, Otto Wallin said. Friends, before starting to watch this video, I would like to ask you to subscribe to my channel. If you really enjoyed the content, then please subscribe to my channel and keep watching the videos. If you are subscribed, then you receive notifications about the release of new videos. You do not even have to look for anything personally. I really want to get 10,000 subscribers on my channel. I am trying very hard, absolutely every day, and I need your support. Your likes, comments, reposts to social networks. Thanks to everyone who subscribes to my channel. You are my support. Thank you so much. Undefeated Cuban heavyweight Frank Sanchez, after a one-sided unanimous decision victory over Christian Hammer, began to challenge the best in his division. I need the best opponents right now. The top 5 are Tyson Fury and Alexander Usyk, Sanchez said. I'll knock Fury out easily. He has no boxing technique here. Usyk is even simpler. He can move, but he doesn't have the same technique as me. The 29-year-old Sanchez ranks 5th in the WBO and WBC rankings. He is trained by coach Eddie Reynoso, among his teammates Saul Alvarez, and he has an influential manager, Lupe Valencia. And he performs at all Heyman's Premier Boxing champions. In the future, Sanchez has every chance to face opponents such as Andy Ruiz, Luis Ortiz, and Robert Helenius, or with fighters who have suffered losses in their recent fights, such as Deontay Wilder, Adam Kownacki, Chris Arreola, Charles Martin, Dominic Breazeale, and Gerald Washington. Sanchez claims that Reynoso and Alvarez, who were sitting at the ring with the team at a New Year's Eve fight in Miami, were pleased with his performance against Hammer. Reynoso and Alvarez were pleased with my performance, Sanchez said. Everything turned out the way they wanted. I showed everything we worked on in the hall. I was too technical for him. That's why he couldn't hit me. I hit him on the torso and often shocked him. Everything turned out great. There is a new great trio in heavyweight: Fury, Usyk, Joshua. The year 2021 has entered the history of boxing. Certainly every fan of this sport has his own memories, but today we will talk about what happened in the heavyweight division. We admit that 2021 is one of the best in the history of the division, a real resonance. It was a throwback to the days of Mike Tyson, Evander Holyfield, and Lennox Lewis. You take it more Bradley. We can state that a new great trio has formed in heavyweight. The first of them was formed by Muhammad Ali, George Foreman, and Joe Frazier. The second by already mentioned Tyson and Co. Now it's time for Alexander Usyk, Anthony Joshua, and Tyson Fury. A new star has risen into the sky. Before the start of 2021, fans were in fact interested in only one heavyweight bout. Everyone was looking forward to the fight between Britain's Anthony Joshua and Tyson Fury, and which the absolute world champion was to be determined. But Deontay Wilder, a little forgotten by everyone, intervened in the matter. The Bronze Bomber legally forced Tyson Fury to give him a third fight. Thus, Anthony Joshua was forced to look for a new rival. Right there, the former absolute world champion in the first heavyweight and the official contender for the belt. According to the WBO version, Alexander Usyk jumped into the arena. Few people believe that as today's cruiserweight will be able to successfully compete with the elite boxers who surpassed him in size. It's one thing to be the little, known Chaz Witherspoon or the clumsy Derek Chisora, but it is another to be Joshua. But Usyk put all the skeptics to shame. The Ukrainian defeated Joshua in a magnificent duel, having completely outboxed the huge Briton, who really believed in it all. Before the fight, Anthony was the clear favorite. Bets on his victory were accepted with odds of 1.5. It was possible to bet on Usyk for 2.7. Experts agreed that Joshua would pinch, crush and crush Usyk, who has no striking power. But Alexander proved that the main thing in the ring is not the size, but the boxing intelligence. He wasn't chasing a knockout, but judging by Joshua's actions in the end, he could have put down his opponent. It wasn't war, but it was real art. And if before the fight they really treated Usyk with some skepticism, now Alexander deserves absolute respect. Can someone now say that he has no chance in a fight with Tyson Fury? If you think so, then remember what you said before the fight with Joshua. Usyk came in earnest and for a long time. And of course, now in 2022 we should look forward to the unification fight of the Ukrainian with Fury. The Bronze Bomber reminded of itself. Perhaps it is worth seriously considering the claims of American Deontay Wilder, the American literally wresting the right to a third fight with Fury, proved that it was not for nothing that he aspired to it so much. Yes, he failed to take revenge from Tyson after losing in the second match, but their trilogy showed that the Bronze Bomber is still capable of a lot. Thanks for watching, guys. If you like this video, please subscribe to my channel.